Do we? Why is everyone so spread apart? Do you want us to lay down in the front row? Oh my goodness gracious. Page 325. Is Sarah Clifton in here?
She was here. I'll go find her. I just saw her. She was in the office. Yeah, I think she's still in the office.
I quit. I'm just kidding. Online people, I'm just kidding. Page 325. Oziva Zimrat Ya Vayahili Lishua. Adonai is my strength, my song of praise, for God has saved my life. Page 327. Jacob had a dream. A ladder set on the ground with its top reaching the sky, and angels of God were ascending and descending the ladder. Our sages taught, the Holy One said, Jacob, you must climb as well. But Jacob was afraid, and he did not climb up. We want to climb higher, but we're tired, and there's so much to do, and we don't know how to rise. God of becoming, whose name means I will be what I will be. You are the unfinished one, ever unfolding, evolving with your creation. Made in your image, we too are fluid, ever becoming who we will be. Keep us alive to possibilities. Show us a path to grow in mind, heart, and spirit. Help us find the strength to ascend. Page 328. I would like to invite up to the Bima Sarah Clifton to open the Ark doors. And for the Hakafot, Harvey Taub, Herb Katz, and Mark Rockland. It shall come to pass in the fullness of time that the mountain of the house of God shall be established as the highest mountain and raised above the hills, and all nations shall flow to it. Then many people shall say, come, let us go up to the mountain of the eternal, to the house of God, of the God of Jacob. And they don't open the ark yet. It's okay. You need to wait till I say, please rise. And they shall say, teach us your ways, that we may walk in your paths. We give thanks today for a Torah of life, the way of kindness, mercy, and truth. May compassion be our source of sustenance now, as in our people's past. May our souls withstand times of crisis, and our hearts the inclination to evil. May the covenant of Abraham and Sarah strengthen our will to do what is right. May the qualities of mercy and goodness, love and forgiveness flow through our lives. And let us be strong in a perilous world. Let us open our hearts to the path of Torah. Please rise. Vayehi bin Soa ha'aron vayomer Moshe, Kuma Adonai v'yafutzu oivecha, v'yanusu misonecha mi panecha. When the ark set out in the wilderness, Moses would say, go forward, Adonai. May your enemies be scattered. May your enemies flee before you. Ki mitzion tetzei Torah. Ki mitzion tetzei Torah. Udevar Adonai mirushalayim. Baruch shenatan Torah, Torah, Baruch shenatan Torah, Torah, Le'amo Yisrael, B'kedushato, Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh v'Norah Shemo, Gadalu l'Adonai iti, uneromim Hashemo yachdav. Lecha Adonai hagedula v'hagevura v'hatiferet v'hamnetzach v'chachod. Ki kol b'shamayim uvaretz, ki kol b'shamayim uvaretz. Lecha Adonai hamlam lacha, v'amnit na'aseh lechol erosh. Al shlosha divarim, al shlosha divarim, al shlosha divarim ha'olam, ha'olam omed. Mark Rocklin. Al shlosha divarim. Ow. Al shlosha divarim. Al shlosha divarim. Ha'olam, ha'olam omed. Al shlosha divarim. Al shlosha divarim. Al shlosha divarim. Ha'olam, ha'olam omed. Al shlosha divarim. Al shlosha divarim. Al shlosha divarim. Ha'olam, ha'olam omed. Please be seated. Sarah, I was not offended that you were doing that. I was just letting you know, don't worry. I got the Torah in the ark. It's not going anywhere. What did you say? It's a what? No, it's a type 1 thing. Or type A, depending on how you look, ask. You should be a rabbi. Lots of type 1s and type A's. Okay. I would like to invite up. Do you want a gabbai? Actually, you're reading. I'll do it. For the honor of the first Torah reading, which is going to be read by our very own Harvey Taub, for the honor of the first Aliyah, I would like to invite up. Well, Lauren Taub isn't here because she had to take her in-laws somewhere. Home. It's okay. They're good. So, you want to do your own Aliyah? Although Batya says that she wants to do it. I'll tell you what. If you'd like to do the first Aliyah, please rise at your seat. Come on, Emily. Chad, shtayim, shalosh. Baruch hu et Adonai hamavorach. Baruch Adonai hamavorach leolam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol hamim v'natan lanu et torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah. And we are reading on page, you may be seated, we are reading on page 338.
V'yedaber Adonai el Moshe lemor, daber al kol adat b'nei Yisrael, v'amarta aleihem kadoshim tiyu, ki kadosh ani Adonai Elohechem, ish imo ve'aviv tirahu, ve'et shabtotai tishmoru, ani Adonai Elohechem, al tifnu el ha'elilim, ve'elohei masecha, lo ta'asu lachem, Ani Adonai Elohechem, v'chi tizbachuhu, zevach shlamim l'Adonai, litzonechem tizbachuhu, beyom zivchachem, yeyachel mimacharat, v'hanotar ad yom hashlishi, be'esh yisarev.
Okay, stand back up. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, Asher natan lanu Torah emet, V'chaye olam nota b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah. And for the honor of the second reading, Andrea Caulfield, and I'd like to invite up Alvin and Toby Topiel for the blessing. Yamdu Avraham ben Ephraim v'tova bat Shaul la'aliyah shniya.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach le'olam va'ed. Baruch Ato Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Asher bocha bonu mikol ha'amim. V'nosan lanu es toraso. Baruch Ato Adonai nosein haTorah.
Amen.
Right.
Eyachol yechel bayom hashlishi pigul hu lo yiratzeh v'yochla bavono yisa ki kodesh Adonai chilel v'nikrata hanefesh hahi me'ameha u'v'kutzrechem et katzir atzechem lo techaleh be'atzarecha liksor v'leke katzircha lo telakeh V'charmecha lo te'olel, u'fered karmecha lo telaket, la'ani v'lagir tazov otam, ani Adonai Elohechem, lo tiknovu, v'lo techachashu, v'lo tishakru, ish ba'amito, v'lo tishavu v'ishmi l'shaker, v'chilal taha, et shem Elohecha, ani Adonai.
Baruch Ato Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Asher nosan lanu toras emes. V'chaye olam nota b'sochenu. Baruch Ato Adonai nosein haTorah.
Amen. Just put it down. Okay. And for the honor of the third Aliyah this morning, I would like to invite up my wife. Ta'amod. Let's see if I can remember. Nechama Duba Yisraela Bat Mashalea Le'aliyah Shlishit.
Baruch et Adonai Hamvarach.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim. V'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
V'lo tigzo lo talin pe'ula tzachir itacha ad boker lo tikalel cheresh v'lifnei ber lo titein mishol v'yarech ha'melohecha ani Adonai lo ta'asu abel b'mishpat lo tisav v'nei dal v'lo tedar p'nei gadol v'tzedek tishpot amitecha Lo telech rachil be'amecha, lo ta'amod al damrecha, ani Adonai. Lo tisna et achicha bilvavecha, hocheach tochiach et amitecha, lo tisa alav chet, lo tikom v'lo titor epinei amecha, v'yahavtal recha kamocha, ani Adonai.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Asher natan lanu torat emet. V'chaye olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Thank you very much. And while the Torah is in our midst, we'll take great job. We'll take a few moments now to think of all of those in our community who are in need of healing, whether it be mind, body, or spirit. May the Eternal One who blesses all life bless and strengthen all of us who struggle against illness. May we whose lives are touched by illness be blessed with faith, courage, love, and caring. May we experience the support and sustenance of family, friends, companions, and community. May we be granted restful nights and days of comfort. We pray for a refuah shlema. If you have a name you'd like to add, please raise your hand. Precious moments of healing with a sense of wholeness in body and soul. May those who care for the sick with their hands, their voices, and their hearts be blessed with courage and stamina. May those who pursue healing through medical skill and knowledge be blessed with insight, patience, and compassion. May all of us, the sick and the well together, find courage and hope, and let us say together, Amen. I'd like to now invite up, I don't see him because I think I knew he wasn't going to be here, for the honor of Hagba and Galila. Let's see who gets the call today. Barry, have you done Hagba before? Would you like to do it again? Come on up. And Galila goes to Elkham Oliver. Please rise as we turn to page 340. Yeah, it is balanced. Still don't be a hero. Do your best. Vizo tatora asher samoshe lifnei b'nei Yisrael al pi Adonai biad Moshe. Torah, 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 tziva lanu Moshe. Torah, 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 tziva lanu Moshe. Torah, 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 tziva lanu Moshe. Torah, 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 tziva lanu Moshe. Please be seated. Elka, since you're already up here, you can go ahead and stay up here to do your Haftarah reading. And I'd like to invite up Emily Rockland for the Haftarah blessings, which you can find on page 342. You can use mine. No, he can hold it. Love the Torah.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech olam asher bachar b'nviim tovim v'ratzav v'divreihem hanemarim be'emet. Baruch atah Adonai habocher b'torah uv'Moshe avdo uv'Yisrael amo unvin v'ha'emet v'tzedek.
And the word of Adonai came to Jonah, son of Amittai. Get up, go to the great city of Nineveh, and proclaim against it, for their evil deeds have risen up before me. But Jonah got up to flee to Tarshish, away from the presence of Adonai. And he went down to Jaffa and found there a ship headed for Tarshish. He paid its fare and went down into it to head with them to Tarshish, away from the presence of Adonai. But Adonai hurled a great wind upon the sea, a storm at sea so great that the ship was in danger of being shattered to pieces. And the sailors were frightened, cried out, each to his own god, and flung the ship's cargo into the sea to lighten their load. But Jonah had gone down into the hold, the lower deck of the vessel, and he lay down and fell into a deep sleep. And the captain approached him and said to him, "What are you doing sound asleep? Get up, call to your God. Perhaps the God will be kind to us, and we will not perish." And they said each man to his companion, Let us cast lots, that we might know on whose account this evil event has come to us. So they cast lots, and the lot fell on Jonah. And they said to him, Tell us, you who have brought this evil upon us, what is your trade, and where have you come from? What is your country, and who are your people? And he said to them, I am a Hebrew. I revere Adonai, God of heaven, who made sea and dry land. The men felt great fear, and they asked him, What have you done? Because the men knew he was fleeing from Adonai, for so he had told them. And they asked him, What should we do to you to bring calm to the sea around us? For the sea was growing more and more stormy. So he said to them, Lift me up and hurl me into the sea, and the sea will calm down for you. For I know that this great storm came upon you because of me. And the crew rowed hard to return to the dry land, but they could not do it, for the sea was raging more and more fiercely around them. And they called out to Adonai, saying, Please, Adonai, please do not let us perish because of the life of this man, and do not hold us guilty of shedding innocent blood. For you, Adonai, that which you desired, you have brought about. And they lifted Jonah and hurled him into the sea, and then the sea stopped raging. The men revered Adonai. Great was their reverence. So they offered to Adonai a sacrifice and made vows. And Adonai provided a great fish to swallow Jonah. And Jonah was in the belly of the fish 3 days and 3 nights. Jonah prayed to Adonai his God from the belly of the fish, and he said, I called to Adonai in my distress, and God answered me. I cried out from the belly of the netherworld, and you heard my voice. Into the depths you cast me, into the heart of the sea, and the floods engulfed me. All your billowing, breaking waves swept over me. And I thought to myself, I was banished from before your eyes. Will I ever again gaze upon your holy temple? The waters closed in over me, the deep engulfed me, rushes wrapped around my head. I descended to the low point of the mountains, the gates of the earth closed upon me forever. Yet you, Adonai, my God, raised up my life from the pit. When my life fainted away, I called Adonai to mind, and my prayer came to you, to your holy temple. They who cling to empty folly forsake their own welfare. But I, with a shout of thanksgiving, I will sacrifice to you. What I have vowed, I will fulfill. Rescue comes from Adonai. Adonai commanded the fish, and it spewed Jonah out upon dry land. And the word of Adonai came to Jonah a second time. Get up, go to the great city of Nineveh, and call out to it to the proclamation that I tell you. So Jonah got up and went to Nineveh according to the word of Adonai. Now Nineveh was a great city of God, 3 days' journey across. And Jonah started out and made his way into the city, the distance of a 1-day walk. And he called out and said, 40 more days, and Nineveh shall be overturned. The people of Nineveh trusted in God, and they proclaimed a fast. And they put on sackcloth from the richest to the poorest. And word reached the king of Nineveh, and he got up from his throne, took off his robe, put on sackcloth, and sat in ashes. And he cried out and said in Nineveh, by decree of the king and his nobles, no person or beast of flock or herd shall taste anything. They shall not graze, and they shall not drink water. They shall be covered with sackcloth, person and beast, and shall call loudly to God. Let all turn back from their evil ways and from the violence which is in their hands. Who knows, God may turn and relent. Turn back from the heat of anger, so that we do not perish. God saw what they did, how they were turning back from their evil ways, and God relented from the evil plan for them and did not carry it out. But to Jonah this was a great evil, and it made him angry. So he prayed to Adonai, saying, Please, Adonai, is this not what I said when I was still in my own country? This is why I fled to Tarshish to begin with, for I knew that you were gracious and compassionate God, endlessly patient and abounding in steadfast love, ready to repent of evil. And now, Adonai, please take my life from me, for it is better for me to die than to live. And Adonai said, is it good for you to be angry? And then Jonah left the city, found a place east of the city, made himself a shelter there, and sat under it in the shade until it might see what would become of the city. And Adonai Elohim provided a gourd and made it rise up over Jonah to give shade for his head and rescue him from his evil situation. And Jonah rejoiced with great joy because of the gourd. But at dawn the next day, God provided a worm that attacked the gourd, and it withered. And as the sun rose, God provided an oppressive wind from the east, and the sun beat down on Jonah's head, making him faint. He begged for death, saying, it is better for me to die than to live. And then God said to Jonah, are you good and angry about the gourd? And he said, I am good and angry to the point of death. And then Adonai said, you pitied the gourd, which you neither worked for nor grew, which appeared overnight and perished overnight. Should I then not have compassion for the great city of Nineveh, a place of more than 120,000 human beings, unable to tell their right hand from their left, and many beasts?
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech olam tzur kol halomim tzadik bechol hadarot ha'el haneheman ha'omer ve'oseh ha'medaber u'makayhem shekol devarav emet v'tzedek ne'eman atahu Adonai Eloheinu v'nemanim devarecha Vedavar echad midvarecha achor lo yashuv rekam ki el melech ne'eman v'rachaman ata baruch ata Adonai ha'el hane'eman b'chol devarav rachem al tzihon ki hi beit chayenu ve'lulavat nefesh toshia bimhera ve'yameinu baruch ata Adonai Mesamech Sion bevaneha Samcheinu Adonai Eloheinu Beliahu chanavi avdecha Umchalt Beit David meshichecha Bimchera yavo V'yagel libenu Al kiso lo yeshav zar V'lo yichalud Echerim et kivodo Ki v'shem kodechecha nishbatalo Shelo yibech niro leolam va'ed Baruch atah Adonai, Magen David. Al haTorah ve'al havodah ve'al hanavim ve'al yom haKippurim hazeh shenatat lanu Adonai Eloheinu limchila v'lislicha l'chavara l'chavod u'letifaret. Al hakol Adonai Eloheinu anachnu modim lach. Umervarchim otach yitbarach shimcha befi kol chai tamid leolam va'ed udracha emet v'kayam lad baruch atah Adonai melech mochel v'salech lavonotenu v'lavonot amo beit Yisrael umavir ashmetenu b'chol shana v'shana melech kol haaretz Mekadesh Yisrael V'yom HaKippurim.
We continue on page 352. Please rise. Yahallelu et Shem Adonai, ki nizgav shemo levado, hodo al eretz v'shayim, vayamrim keren le'amo, tila lechol Hasidav Lifnei Yisrael Am Kerovo. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Who may ascend the mountain of the eternal, and who may rise up to the place where holiness abides? A person of clean hands and pure heart, who has neither taken a false oath nor sworn deceitfully. Such a person shall receive God's blessing and kindness from the well of salvation. Ki lekach tov natati lachem, torati al ta'azovu. Eitz chayim hi lemachat sikim ba, vetomcheha meushar. Deracheha darchei noam, vechol netivoteha shalom. Hashivenu Adonai elecha v'nashuva. Chadesh, Chadesh Yameinu, Chadesh Yameinu kekedem. Return again, return again, return to the land of your soul. Return to who you are. Return to what you are. Return to where you are, born and reborn again. We continue on page 356. Ultimately, the goal of prayer is not to translate a word, but to translate the self, not to render an ancient vocabulary in modern terminology, but to transform our lives into prayers. Horeini Adonai derachecha, ahalech ba'amitecha, yachei levavi lirav, lire'ah shemecha. God, teach me your path. Your truth will guide my steps. Point my heart toward awe. Your name, the center of my devotion. In the pages between pages 358 and 359, there are some meditations. And after that, also after page 362, there are meditation pages in between the prayers. If you find yourself getting lost in those meditations rather than the prayers themselves, that's okay. This is a great time to do that. Adonai sefaitai tivtach ufi agid tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanorah, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Vekonei Hakol, Vezocher Chastei Avot ve'imahot, Umevi Geula Livnei v'neihem, Leman Shemo bi'ahava, Zochreinu l'chaim, Melech hafetz b'chaim, v'chodfeinu b'sefer ha'chaim, Lemancha Elohim chaim, Melech Ozer u'Moshia u'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'Ezrat Sarah. Atah gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechayei hakol atah rav lehoshia, Morid hatal, Mechalkel chaim bechesed, Mechaye hakol berachamim rabim, Somech noflim verofei cholim, Umatir asurim, Umekayem emunato, Lishenei afar, Michamocha ba'al givurot, Umido melach, Melech memit umechaye, Umatzmiach Yeshua, Michamocha el harachamim, Zocher Yitzurav lechaim, Lechaim berachamim, V'ne'eman ata lachayot hakol, Baruch ata Adonai, Mechaye hakol. We continue on page 368. Nekadesh et shimcha ba'olam, Keshem shemakdishim oto b'shmei marom, Kakatuv al yad neviecha, Vekara ze el ze ve'amar, Kadosh, 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 Adonai Tzivaot, Meloch ol haaretz, Kevodo, Adir, Adirenu, Adonai, Adonenu, Ma'adir, Shimcha bechol haaretz, Baruch kevod Adonai, Mimkomo, Echadu Eloheinu, Hu Avinu, Hu Malkeinu, Hu Moshienu, Vehu Yashmienu, Berachamav Le'nei Kol Chai, Ani Adonai Elohechem, Yimloch Adonai le'olam, Elohai Zion, ledor vador, Hallelujah. Ledor vador nagid God lecha, ulenetzach netzachim kedushatcha nakdish, V'shivchacha Eloheinu mipinu lo yamush leolam va'ed, Ki el melech gadol v'kadosh ata. Please be seated. Page 373. Come to the woods, for here is rest. There is no repose like that of the deep green woods. The clearest way into the universe is through a forest wilderness. The winds will blow their own freshness into you, and the storms their energy, while cares will drop off like autumn leaves. As age comes on, one source of enjoyment after another is closed, but nature's sources never fail. The poetry of earth is never dead. Study nature, love nature, stay close to nature. It will never fail you. Nature is the living, visible garment of God. Nature never hurries. Atom by atom, little by little, she achieves her work. What seems to be a stone is a drama. The joy of looking and comprehending is nature's most beautiful gift. When I behold your heavens, the work of your fingers, the moon and stars that you set in place, replete is the world with a spiritual radiance, replete with sublime and marvelous secrets. But a small hand held against the eye hides it all. The heavens declare the glory of God. The sky proclaims God's handiwork. What we lack is not a will to believe, but a will to wonder. Page 375. Jerusalem, port city, on the shores of eternity. The Holy Mount is a huge ship, a luxurious pleasure liner. From the portholes of her western wall, happy saints look out, travelers. Hasidim on the dock wave goodbye, shout, hurrah, till we meet again. She's always arriving, always sailing. And the gates and the docks and the policemen and the flags and the high masts of churches and mosques and the smokestacks of synagogues and the boats of praise and waves of mountains. The sound of the ram's horn is heard, still another sailed. Day of Atonement, sailors in white, uniforms climb among ladders and ropes of seasoned prayers. And the trade in the gates and the gold domes. Jerusalem is the Venice of God. Page 377. Wallenberg, no smaller than his myth, real, ideal, handsome, big-hearted, pushy for life, tireless, all of those. At long last, I don't have to expect someone will write a book before I die, tearing apart his image like they did to the Kennedys and King. Hype and wishful thinking. Exaggeration won't touch him. He was indeed what he was. The beggar who has been sitting and sleeping on the same bench in the park day after day, surrounded by paper bags stuffed with her belongings, has now become a donor, feeding with crumbs the pigeons and sparrows in a broad circle about her. Page 379. Past the gates of the city with the cattle, the wind between the mountains and the sea, with the tent, with the faces. You and everywhere, like air. They called you by different names, none of them yours, all of them yours. You knew the hunger of open beaks high in the cedar. You watched the infant goats sway to their feet. You and everywhere, like air. I called you by different names, all of them yours, none of them yours. A gust of wind parted the grass. There was the bread I ate, the heart of the bread of the heart. Baruch atah Adonai, HaMelech HaKadosh. Blessed are you, Adonai, holy sovereign. Page 383. Adonai, Adonai, God compassionate, gracious, endlessly patient, loving and true, showing mercy to the 1,000th generation, forgiving evil, defiance, and wrongdoing, granting pardon. Rava said, those who forgo their right to demand punishment are forgiven all their sins. As I wish to be forgiven for what I've done wrong, viewed with leniency and understanding, my good intentions acknowledged even when I fall short. So I commit myself to follow the model of the Holy One, giving others the benefit of the doubt, perceiving their virtues as keenly as I see their flaws, offering them the chance to begin anew, relinquishing the need to punish. Do not seek vengeance or bear a grudge against your people. Love your neighbor as yourself. I am Adonai. Even if one has a genuine grievance toward a neighbor, one ought not to respond with hatred. The Talmud cited the case of a man cutting with one hand and inadvertently hurting the other hand. Shall he in retaliation cut the hand that wielded the knife? We are all part of one another, and the hurts we inflict on others really strike at ourselves, since our lives are interdependent. Page 385. Rabbi Shimon taught, do not regard yourself as worthless. Harachaman, source of mercy, teach me the art of a compassionate gaze. Show me how to be patient and forgiving, kind and encouraging, loving and understanding, generous in spirit when faced with imperfection. Help me to extend love and compassion to my own imperfect soul. Help me to embrace these truths. I share the lot of all human beings. I'm not alone in my failings. Whatever I have done, I am loved and valued by you, worthy of love, capable of goodness. Do not let me slip into self-loathing or despair. As I ask for your remembrance, I commit myself to remember. Self-compassion is not self-indulgence. It is not an excuse for bad behavior or an impediment to my growth. Harsh self-rebuke will not make me more gentle with others. On this holy day, I hold fast to these words of Torah. Be loving to your neighbor as you are to yourself. Feel bad. It won't kill you. Use these feelings as a catalyst to make amends, so long as doing so doesn't inflict more pain. Do something positive that will help offset the damage you have caused. After you have done all you can by a way of making amends and have learned all you can from what you did, make a solemn vow not to repeat the act. Assuming you have done all this, let it go. How? The next time the memory arises, don't give yourself over to the drama. Yes, I did that. I won't do that again. There is no point in dwelling on it, and doing so simply feeds my narcissism. Better to do something constructive with my time and energy. Page 386. Zachrenu Adonai Eloheinu bo letavo upochdenu bo livracha v'hoshienu vo lechaim. Eternal our God, remember us, be mindful of us, and redeem us for a life of goodness and blessing. Favor us with words of deliverance and mercy. Show us the depth of your care. God, we await your redemption, for you reign with grace and compassion. God called to Israel in a vision by night, Jacob, Jacob. And Jacob answered, Hineni, I am here. Said the Holy One, I am Adonai, the God of your ancestors. Do not be afraid to descend into Egypt, for there I will make you into a great nation. I myself will go down with you to Egypt, and I myself will bring you up again. Jacob, our father, weary and frightened in the last years of his life, came to see. God's love and care had been with him all his days, even when he did not know. Said the Holy One, fear not, for even in the darkness of your struggle I am with you. I descend with you, and I will help you to rise again. Page 389. In the cafe, I saw my God revealed to me in the smoke of cigarettes. Disheartened, sheepish, and weak, he hinted to me, living is yet possible. He was nothing like my beloved, nearer than he, and far from happy. Like starlight's transparent shadow, he did not feel the space. By the fading light of a pale red sunset, as if to confess a sin before death, he fell down to kiss our human feet and to ask us forgiveness. Page 391. V'taher libenu le'ovdecha be'emet, ki ata salchan le'Yisrael, u'mechalan lishptei yeshurun b'chol dor v'dor, u'mibaldecha ein lanu melech mochel v'soleach ela ata. Make our hearts pure, so that we may be of true service to you, for you are the forgiver of Israel. In every generation, granting pardon to the tribes of Yeshurun, with no God of forgiveness and pardon but you alone. You are blessed, Adonai, sovereign who forgives our failings and pardons the failings of your people, the house of Israel. You banish our guilt from year to year. You reign in majesty over all the earth. You sanctify the people Israel and the day of atonement. Page 393. Thus says the eternal God, this is Jerusalem. I have set her in the midst of the nations, and countries are round about her. As the navel is the center of the human body, so is the land of Israel the navel of the world. As Scripture says, that dwell in the navel of the earth. The land of Israel is located in the center of the world. Jerusalem is the center of the land of Israel, the temple in the center of Jerusalem, the Holy of Holies in the center of the temple, the ark in the center of the Holy of Holies, and in front of the Holy of Holies is the foundation stone from which the world was founded. The concept of Israel as the navel of the world is less geographic than religious. It conveys the spiritual and cultural centrality of Eretz Yisrael. By reminding us of the umbilical cord, the metaphor also suggests the primacy of the land. It is, as James Missioner called it, the source, the place where the Jewish people began. The metaphor of navel expresses motherly love and intimacy as well. Eretz Yisrael birthed and nurtured the Jews, sustained their physical and spiritual life, rejoiced and suffered with them over the millennia. For the sages who created this midrash, the land of Israel and Jerusalem in particular, are not only precious to the Jews, they also possess cosmic significance. For they believe that from this sacred place the universe expanded. For billions of people around the world, Zion remains the place where heaven and earth touch. As a result of the historic catastrophe in which Titus of Rome destroyed Jerusalem and Israel was exiled from its land, I was born in one of the cities of the exile. But I always regarded myself one who was born in Jerusalem. Page 394. Ritzei Adonai Eloheinu ba'amcha Yisrael, utfilatam be'ahava tikabel beratzon, utehil ratzon tamid avodat Yisrael amecha. El karov l'chol kro'av, pnei el avdecha v'chanenu. Shfoch ruchacha aleinu v'techezena einenu b'shuvcha l'tzion barachamim. Baruch atah Adonai hamachazir shechinato l'tzion. Blessed are you whose divine presence is felt again in Zion. Blessed are the hands that sowed red soil fields on winter mornings, amid the swoop and swirl of starlings. They made the vine kneel with humility, and by the waters of Yarkon they planted eucalyptus like perfumed pennants. They bridled the horse and nuzzled rifle to cheek, to fend off an enemy from a ramshackle hut, a shelter of peace ruling over sand dune and sweet bean. And with a fierce green eye, he would keep watch over the young birds, soft acreage seeded with grass for grazing, as a few oxen lower themselves into the marsh. He plows the furrow in spite of the rough earth, makes a first parting in virgin soil. Blessed are the hands. Aleph, the Hebrew of your poets, Zion, is like oil upon a burn, cool as oil after work, the smell in the street at night of the hedge in flower. Like Solomon, I have married the speech of strangers. None are like you, Shulamite. Bet, how difficult for me is Hebrew. Even the Hebrew for mother, for bread, for son is foreign. How far I have been exiled, Zion. Page 397. The older we get, the greater becomes our inclination to give thanks, especially heavenward. We feel more strongly than we could have ever felt before that life is a free gift. Our hands reach out gratefully to receive the unexpected gift of each good hour. but we also feel again and again an urge to thank a friend even if he or she has not done anything special for us. For what then? For really meeting me when we meet. For opening her eyes and not mistaking me for someone else. For opening her ears and listening carefully to what I had to say. Indeed, for opening up to me what I really wanted to address. Her securely locked heart. What has happened in my life since last Yom Kippur that makes me thankful? Have I grown during the past year in my ability to experience and express gratitude? Am I consistent in expressing gratitude to loved ones and friends? Do I look for things to feel grateful for or things to complain about? Do I feel appreciated by others? What have I done during the past year that has earned someone else's gratitude? What blessings have nourished me in recent years? What are some miracles that greet me every day? Page 399. Modim anachnu lach, for miracles and wonders are with us always, and goodness is woven through our lives. Our sages teach that miracles are astounding acts. They shake us to the core. And wonders? These, they say, are the miracles of which we are unaware. Well hidden in the laws of nature, great wonders reside. The rhythm of our breathing, the rise and fall of tides, the wing beats of a hummingbird, the choreography of bees, the cycles of the heavens, the seasons of the sky, and sunlight on leaves transmuted into energy. How wondrously fixed and predictable. Migration of birds, circulation of blood. How utterly extraordinary is the ordinary. But goodness, is it with us always? Can we feel it even now? Consider this. The eye is narrow in its gaze, for at this very moment, some lives are bathed in miracle. A newborn child in the arms of parents who were past the point of hope. The happiness of improbable love after many years alone. Recovery from surgery. The easing of grief. Food for the hungry, rain after drought. The first light of peace in a war-darkened land. May I look up from my dark places and be glad. Somewhere, even now, wondrous goodness blossoms forth. Let us read together on page 401. Uchtov l'chaim tovim kol b'nei v'ritecha. Inscribe your covenant partners for a life of goodness. Holy One, the mystics had names for you. Atik Yomim, Ancient of Days. Yotzer Ruchot, Creator of winds, to capture your grandeur in words. In covenant with you, we glimpse ineffable forces, invisible time, inscrutable nature, infinite challenge. We are grateful for the gift of life. We respond by ennobling our lives through service and healing. We are grateful for the beauty of creation. We respond by guarding and preserving forest, sea, and air. We are grateful that your love has blessed our lives. We respond with our own acts of kindness, care, and love. In a universe we can never fully grasp, we are your partners for all generations. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha ulecha na'eh lehodot. Blessed are you, Adonai, whose goodness deserves thanks and praise. Page 402. Start softly. A discussion that begins with accusation or criticism triggers the natural inclination to fight back, drastically reducing the chances of resolution. A soft start, by contrast, invites constructive conversation. The importance of a soft start and soft reply is established in Jewish tradition. In Proverbs 15:1 we read, "A soft answer turns away wrath." And in Pirkei Avot 1:15, "Receive everyone with a cheerful expression." Beginning softly does not mean abandoning a parent's responsibility to set limits or to discipline the child. It means only that we do not begin with blame. When problem solving in the context of an unequal relationship like parent-child, the principle of justice still applies. The rule is that inequalities in authority should be justified by the purpose and function of the relationship. In other words, parental authority is justified by the responsibility to care for, keep safe, and raise children properly. It would be grossly unfair to grant such a major responsibility without the authority to carry it out. At the same time, the person with more power should not take advantage of it in a self-serving or cruel way. Such advantage-taking is known in rabbinic parlance as ona'at re'ah, a serious moral violation and one of the sins in the Yom Kippur confession. Being a kind and just parent during their early years helps build a foundation of respect that will endure through the difficult teen years. Agreeing to abide by a covenant of respect can help keep parent-teenager discussions on track. The covenant of respect means that teens follow the biblical commandment to honor their parents, which includes accepting parental authority and parental rights to set appropriate limits. Parents, in turn, would follow the rabbinic injunction to honor all people, which involves listening to their child's point of view with an open mind. Let's read together on page 403. "If your wife is short, bend over to hear her whisper." When his disciples asked Rabbi Ada bar Ahava, "To what do you attribute your long life?" he replied, "I never lost my temper in the midst of my family." Diversity is built into the human condition. Our tradition regards it as a blessing. Says the Talmud, just as the faces of human beings are different, so their minds and personalities are different. Disagreements are inevitable in any close relationship, but the prophet Zechariah taught love, truth, and peace. In other words, balance the quest for truth with the striving for peace. Don't let brutal honesty lead you to hurt the ones you love. Don't insist on being right at the expense of a loving, harmonious relationship with your partner or spouse. When the temple was destroyed, it was replaced not by another temple, but by the home, later named a mikdash me'at, a sanctuary in miniature. The rabbis established an extraordinary equivalence. Temple equals home, altar equals table, priests equals us around the table, sacrifice equals bread. And because the altar could not be built from hewn stones, it would take a tool of violence to shape them, so too a tool of violence is not used to cut the bread on the Shabbat table. How many of us tear the challah with our hands instead of using a knife at the Friday night dinner? Just as the temple had to be a place of peace and wholeness, it is our hope that our home will also be a place of peace, not a place of hurt, competition, or violence. We reinforce these wonderful principles not only through grand gestures and statements, but also through the regular practice of law and ritual. Shalom Bayit does not mean a quiet house, but a house, a home in which people are at peace with one another. How can I bring more peace into my home and into my relationships? Am I refraining from discussing important matters in order to maintain peace in my home? Page 405. Your face from finery, from miracles that do not stop one's breath, from moist darkness in the niches of all creatures, from the ash of humanity stirred up in the winds, with great mercy I will gather. Your face from constant kindnesses, from the man who envelops me at night, from my daughter falling asleep at the shore of the milk river. I'll seek your face, for the face of the soldier has become distorted. The face of my father has dispersed, and my face is an idol in my sack. But you exist, as does your face. Page 406. Sim shalom, sim shalom, sim shalom, tova uvracha, chen v'chesed v'rachamim, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael amecha. Sim shalom, sim shalom. Page 407. Sim shalom tova uvracha, chen v'chesed v'rachamim. Let there be peace. Grant goodness and blessing, grace, constancy, and compassion. Rabbi Joshua ben Levi taught, great is peace. Peace is to the world as leaven is to dough. And thus we learn, peace is not passivity, a state of restful inertia. Peace is the fermenting energy, the source of creative and expansive growth. When there is peace in the world, human talents may blossom and all are enriched. When there is peace in a family, all members may grow to fulfill their potential. When there is peace in our soul, we are free to express all the gifts within us. Our sages taught, humility is the pathway to peace. Strive to purify yourself of jealousy, resentment, and competition for honor. These lead to arguments and strife between people. A quiet, contented spirit, rooted in gratitude for what we possess, will be at peace. Thus, after our prayer for peace, we ask, before all human beings, let humility be my stance. Sang the psalmist, seek peace and pursue it. Seek it in your own place. Pursue it everywhere. Seek peace for our own people. Pursue it for all who dwell on earth. Even when it seems distant, do not let go of peace. Let us read together on page 408. My God, keep my tongue from doing harm and my lips from lies and deceit. Before those who wrong me with my words, may silence be my practice. Before all human beings, let humility be my stance. Open my heart to your Torah, that I may follow its sacred path of duty. Shatter at once the malicious plans of those who would do me harm. Act for the sake of your name. Act for the sake of your shielding hand. Act for the sake of your holiness. Act for the sake of your Torah. For the sake of those who love you, their rescue and safety, let your shielding hand be the answer to my prayer. Page 410. Yehiyu leratzon imrefi, imrefi, vehegyon libi lifanecha. Adonai Tzuri, Adonai Tzuri, Vigoali, Vigoali, Osei. shalom bimromav. Uyase shalom aleinu. Ve'al kol Yisrael. Ve'imru, imru, amen. Yase shalom. Yase shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yase shalom. Yase shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Page 413. I do not want to beg forgiveness or seek absolution, a poor petitioner before the throne. If a power flows through the universe, if some force or higher consciousness infuses all of life, it does not notice my misdeeds. Said Elisha the heretic rabbi, there is no justice, there is no judge, no one to hear my confession, no one to grant me mercy, no one to seal my fate. Still, the words of prayer are in my mouth. Still, the wrongs I commit are in my mind. And still, this yearning in my heart to make things right, breathe free, be clean again. Page 414. V'sham ne'emar vayomer Adonai salachti kidvarecha. And God responded, I forgive as you have asked. Ki anu amecha ve'ata Eloheinu. Anu vanecha ve'ata avinu. Anu avadecha ve'ata Adonenu. Anu kahalecha ve'ata chelkenu. Anu nachalatecha ve'ata goralenu. Anu tzonecha ve'ata ro'enu. Anu kormecha ve'ata notrenu. Anu fualatecha ve'ata yotzrenu. Anu ra'ayatecha ve'ata dodenu. Anu segulatecha ve'ata kirovenu. Anu amecha ve'ata malkenu. Anu ma'amirecha ve'ata ma'amirenu. Our God and God of our ancestors, together we are your people and you are our God. We are your children and you are our father, our mother. We are the people who serve you and you call us to serve. We are your community and you are our portion. We are your legacy and you are our purpose. We are your flock and you are our shepherd. We are your vineyard and you watch over us. We are your work and you are our maker. We are your beloved and you are our lover. We are your treasure and you are the one we cherish. We are your people and you reign over us. We offer you our words and you offer us yours. So forgive us, pardon us, lead us to atonement. Please rise. Page 416. Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu tavo lefanecha tefilatenu ve'al titalam mitchinatenu. Our God and God of all generations, may our prayers reach your presence. And when we turn to you, do not be indifferent. Adonai, we are arrogant and stubborn, claiming to be blameless and free of sin. In truth, we have stumbled and strayed. We have done wrong. Ay, 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 Ashamnu, Begadnu, Gazalnu, Dibarnu Dofi. Ay 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 Hevinu Vehir Shanu Zadnu Kamasnu. Tefanu sheker. Ay 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 Atznu Kizavnu Latznu Maradnu Niatznu Sararnu Avinu Pashanu Sararnu Kishinu Oref Ay 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 Rashanu Shichatnu Tiavnu Tatinu Titanu Ay 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 ay. Of these wrongs we are guilty, we betray, we steal, we scorn, we act perversely, we are cruel, we scheme, we are violent, we slander, we devise evil, we lie, we ridicule, we disobey, we abuse, we defy, we corrupt, we commit crimes, we are hostile, we are stubborn, we are immoral, we kill, we spoil, we go astray, we lead others astray. Please be seated. On page 418, we will read responsively, I in the Hebrew and you in the English. Al chet shechatanu lefanecha, bezadon uvishgaga, ve'al chet shechatanu lefanecha, b'shuat shav. Al chet shechatanu lefanecha biflilut, ve'al chet shechatanu lefanecha bekalut rosh. Al chet shechatanu lefanecha b'yetzer hara, ve'al chet shechatanu lefanecha b'einayim ramot. Al chet shechatanu lefanecha b'hior hor halev, ve'al chet shechatanu lefanecha b'zibor peh. B'dibor. Al chet shechatanu lefanecha b'chachash u'chazav, ve'al chet shechatanu lefanecha b'honaat re'ah. Al chet shechatanu lefanecha b'sinat chinam, ve'al chet shechatanu lefanecha b'vidui peh. Ve'al kulam Elohah slichot slachlanu mechalanu kaperlanu. For all these failures of judgment and will, God of forgiveness, pardon us and lead us to atonement. Just to appease my wife and the rest of you. If you look in the third word of that last line of Hebrew, Elohah, you see the dot in the middle of the hay. That is a special kind of dagesh. And that dagesh means that it's not Elohah, it's Elohah. So whenever you hear me go Elohah, there's a reason. I'm not just like, coughing or something. It's for intense. in the word Eloha. Ve'al kulam Eloha slichot. Page 419, last Hebrew line, third word. And let's sing. Ve'al kulam Eloha slichot. Selach lanu mechalanu kaper lanu ve'al kulam Eloha selichot selach lanu mechalanu kaper lanu. Page 420. Al chet shechatanu lefanecha begalui uvsater ve'al chet shechatanu lefanecha bivli da'at. Al chet shechatanu lefanecha bechilul Hashem ve'al chet shechatanu lefanecha betuma'at sfatayim. Al chet shechatanu lefanecha birchilut ve'al chet shechatanu lefanecha bezilzul horim umurim. Al chet shechatanu lefanecha betzarut ayin ve'al chet shechatanu lefanecha b'masa uvmatan. Al chet shechatanu lefanecha begilui arayot ve'al chet shechatanu lefanecha b'ma'achal uv'mishteh. Al chet shechatanu lefanecha bitshumeh yad ve'al chet shechatanu lefanecha beritzat raglayim lahara. Ve'al kulam Eloha slichot, slach lanu mechal lanu kaper lanu. Ve'al kulam Eloha slichot, slach lanu mechal lanu kaper lanu ve'al kulam Eloha selichot selach lanu mechal lanu kaper lanu. Page 425. Hakarat Hatov, what gives us strength to pursue goodness? Awareness of the good that is around us. Decent, generous acts that remind us of what is possible here and now in this world of moral ambiguity. So our sages taught, one mitzvah inspires another. Thus we acknowledge and celebrate those who do their best on the job, whatever their level or pay, and those who run an honest business, who don't cut corners, falsify, or lie. Those who labor in obscurity to help others or advance the frontiers of truth. Those who add beauty to the world through the arts or through unselfish deeds. Patient teachers who see the potential in shy or difficult students. Students who focus on learning, not just good marks, and earn their grades fairly without cheating. Athletes who exemplify good sportsmanship and self-discipline. All those who use their wealth to benefit society and the greater good. Those in high places who resist the corruption of power. Whistleblowers, alert to malfeasance, who bravely sound the alarm. Public servants who do the people's business with integrity. politicians who place conscience above popularity, those who travel far from home to defend our country from foes, those who keep our communities safe, who run into fires to save lives, parents who care selflessly for ill or troubled children, children who give time and love to frail and aging parents, loving spouses who remain faithful, loyal friends who stand fast in times of trouble. May their mitzvot inspire our own. May we find the strength to emulate their honor. Let us take joy in remembering that goodness still abides. Page 426. I invite Joe and Chris Switt to open up the ark doors. Please rise. Page 427. Avinu Malkeinu, we join generations of Jews who have sought your compassion. Shekhinah Imenu, nurturing presence. Mikor Binatenu, source of insight and understanding. Tzor Chayenu, unweathered stone, steadying strength beneath us. Yedid Nafshotenu, intimate soul companion. Chonenu Va'anenu, we open to you in self-examination. Grace us and answer us. Be present with us and inspire us. Accompany us. Assure us we are not alone. Ki ein banu ma'asim. We approach you empty-handed. Our accomplishments set aside. Rather than defend ourselves, we confess we are broken-hearted at our failures and our world remains unrepaired. Asei imanu tzedakah v'chesed. Embrace us generously as we expose our errors. Be our example. Hold us with abundant love. Turn us to face the world with justice and compassion. V'hoshi'enu, save us. We join our strength to yours as we offer ourselves fully to life ahead. Avinu Malkeinu chatanu lefanecha. Avinu Malkeinu, almighty and merciful, we have strayed and sinned before you. Avinu Malkeinu ein lanu melech ela ata. Avinu Malkeinu, you alone are our sovereign. Avinu Malkeinu, aseh imanu lema'an shemecha. Avinu Malkeinu, act toward us as befits your name. Avinu Malkeinu, chadesh aleinu shana tova. Avinu Malkeinu, renew for us a year of goodness. Avinu Malkeinu, zocher ki afar anachnu. Avinu Malkeinu, remember us, we are but dust of the earth. Avinu Malkeinu, tehei hasha'ah hazot, she'at rachamim ve'et ratzon milfanecha. Avinu Malkeinu, let this hour in your presence be a time of compassion and acceptance. Avinu Malkeinu, chamol aleinu ve'al ol aleinu v'tapenu. Avinu Malkeinu, have compassion on us and our families. Avinu Malkeinu, aseh lema'an tevuchim al ye'ichudecha. Avinu Malkeinu, act for the sake of those slain for their devotion to you. Avinu Malkeinu, aseh lema'an harugim al shem kodshecha. Avinu Malkeinu, act for the sake of those killed because they were Jews. Avinu Malkeinu, aseh lema'an ba'e va'esh uvamayim al kiddush shemecha. Avinu Malkeinu, act for the sake of those who suffered fire and water to sanctify your name. Avinu Malkeinu, chanenu va'anenu, ki ein banu ma'asim. Aseh imanu tzedakah v'chesed v'hoshi'enu. Avinu Malkeinu, almighty and merciful, answer us with grace, for our deeds are wanting. Save us through acts of justice and love. Avinu Malkeinu, Avinu Malkeinu, Avinu Malkeinu, chanenu va'anenu, ki ein banu masim. Aseh imanu, tzedakah v'chesed. Aseh imanu tzedakah v'chesed v'hoshienu. Avinu Malkeinu. Avinu Malkeinu. Avinu Malkeinu. Avinu Malkeinu. Avinu Malkeinu. Both of you need to push a little bit harder. Both of you. Both of you. Not Never the wife's fault. You know better than that. Page 430. Yeah, go. Go. Ours the duty to listen, and ours the duty to praise. Ours is the duty to respond to what we hear, to raise questions and build houses of study in which to ask them, to praise the Creator for creating, to praise the Creator for rest, to praise the God of Torah for the challenge of Torah, to praise the God of eternity for every hour, every day, to plant and build, to seek peace and pursue it. Ours the duty to do justice, ours the duty to be Israel, to fix the broken, to open doors of hope, to bow before a commanding power that speaks to us from Sinai, from history, from deep within the heart. Hear, O Israel, it is not your duty to complete the work, but you may not turn away. Page 432, we continue with Aleinu. Aleinu l'shabeach ladon hakol, latet gedula liotzer breshit, shelo asani kegoye haratzot, velo samanu k'mishpachot hadama, shelo sam chelkenu kahem, v'goralenu kechol hamonam, v'anachnu koreim, u'mishtachavim u'modim, lifnei melech, malchei hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Shehu Notei Shamayim ve'yosed haaretz, O Moshav Yekaro b'shamayim mima'al, U'shchinatu zo, begov hei meromim, Hu Eloheinu enod, Emet Malkeinu efesulato, Kakatu betorato, V'yadata hayom v'hashevota elevavecha, Ki Adonai hu Elohim, B'shamayim mima'al, Ve'al haaretz, Mitachat enod, v'nemar v'haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz, bayom hahu, yeh Adonai echad, Ushemo echad. Page 438. Yidkadal v'yidkadash shemei rabah, be'alma divrach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon v'yomechon, u'v'chayei techol beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'v'zman kari v'imru amen. Yehei shmei rabah mevorach le'olam u'lomei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shmeid kudisha brechu. Le'ela ul'ela mikol berchata v'shirata. Tushbechata v'nechemata, damiran be'ama v'yimru amen. Al Yisrael ve'al Rabbanan ve'al Talmidehun ve'al kol Talmidehun. Ki varata hadain v'di b'chol echar ve'echad. Yehe lehon ulechon shlama rabba china v'chista v'rachamin. V'chayin arichin. Umzone riviche upchorna. Mi kadam ahuvon dishamaya v'ara v'imru amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya v'chaim tovim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mrumav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel v'imru amen. This concludes our afternoon service. It is 2:45. Our healing service will begin at 3:15.